already messed up. I'm trying to sign out.
Right.
Print these fucking things.
Causing all kinds of fucking issues, man.
Right?
Man, I get the big seat tonight.
Weather, man.
You wanna pour me up as well, I assume?
Actually, I have a diabolical plan that you might enjoy.
What's that? Oh, that is diabolical.
I know. I forgot that we had these in the fridge.
We already had two-hearted?
What?
You already had
Carlos
to?
bought a six-pack.
Oh.
Back, and they were just sitting there. So I was like, yeah.
Well, that's okay. We get to promote Divine a little bit because he donated the 2 bottles.
Oh, awesome.
I bought the 3rd, but oh no.
Oh, no.
I spent $2 on 3 bottles of... I don't know. Did you get a recipe written up?
I did not.
Okay. Do you think you would be able to more or less kind of like...
a pale ale or like it's just an IPA recipe, right?
Clone?
You want a clone recipe?
Yeah.
I have the clone book.
No, the practice here is if we can take qualities and try and reverse engineer.
Yeah, I've been just so slammed.
No, that's
all
fine.
the
That's
shit
fine.
That I've been trying to get done. So yeah, no, I do not have a clone recipe.
That's all right. I'll be able to tell you mine or something.
Yeah, and we can go
Or-
through it. We can kind of just go through it and figure out where we want to go.
Actually, what I got was I pulled up. I have mine first. Then I have 3 different clone recipes that I found that all pretty much fall into place and are very similar to each other. And then I have what might actually be the recipe.
Okay.
I think I found the actual recipe, and
Awesome.
I grabbed the URL. If I had a computer, I'd have been able to bring it up and show you, but no.
Well, this is not my fault. I'm working on getting an actual good laptop for down here.
Yeah.
I just got to get everything set up on it.
Sure.
I don't know. I leave on Friday, not ready. Don't have anything packed. I'm still...
What are you doing again?
I'm going to Florida for...
Oh, that's right.
For a conference.
Beginning of next month, I'll be going to Texas, I think Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
All right.
So if we want to record a different time or do an off,
do an off week or
a bye week.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's a thing.
Or maybe I'll just record it without you, Miles. Just have a bunch of people down here. We'll just get drunk.
Wouldn't be the first time you've done that.
Nope. Yeah, actually, for this show, it would.
For this show, yes, but
for the first time we recorded without you.
Yeah.
The other shows don't really matter if you're there or not.
That's true. I get nothing out of this except free beer.
Right. Well,
to be fair, that is a pretty good.
That
deal.
is a pretty good thing right there. Testing. All right. How's my volume?
Try again.
Testing. 1, 2. Test. I feel. Can you crank up my headphones? It should be slot 3 on the back thing.
This
nope. Go point farther back. Look up, right below the monitor. Down. That thing. There you go. It should be 3. Test.
Turning it up or down?
Turn it up. Turn it up. Testing. All right, there we go.
Is that better?
Yeah, just turn it down just a touch. All right, that should be good.
All right, it's at about 3.75.
I'll take it. We'll be fine.
How's my volume? Any quandaries with that?
Turn yourself down just a little bit. No, your actual volume just down just a touch.
How's that?
That's good.
All right.
Perfect. All right, let me make sure that this is where we want it. All right, that should be good. You give me the cue, man.
Are you still doing intro tonight?
Yeah. I'll do intro and then So,
okay, gotcha.
But yeah, you give me the cue when you want to start recording because you got to hit the button and everything.
Right, buttons and things.
Other mouse.
This one.
That's the one.
All right.
From grain to glass, this show is dedicated to helping you make the best beer possible. So strap in and hold on to your mash tuns. We're Homebrew bound.
Welcome to Homebrew Bound. I'm Casey,
And I'm Miles.
and Miles is messing up the board.
First night in the big chair.
Right, the
Man,
big old chair.
I know things are all flipped around up on YouTube.
It's insane.
Ah,
Not really sure what's going on anymore.
no, it's gonna be comical.
It should be interesting, that's for sure. I'm experiencing the dead ear that people keep complaining about, but I'm not really hearing it right now. So I think they're just insane.
Fair enough.
All right.
So Casey, what have you been doing brewing wise this last week?
Brewing wise or beer wise?
Actually, why don't we say beer wise?
Yeah,
over the last 2 weeks. 'Cause
Yeah, I guess we have been out for a bit now. Well, we had an off week. It's been a weird month. I hate holiday season that way. Everything gets so busy so fast,
and
it
just
feels
schedules
like you're
get
just
thrown out of whack.
holding on to keep up.
Pretty much.
But no, so I had two, I guess, alcohol-related interviews for Department of Defense. Last week, I think. Last week or the week before. I interviewed Russ from Common Man Brewing, which is a new brew pub opening up in Ellsworth, Wisconsin.
Yes.
Opening up February is when they open the doors. They're going to start brewing in February. From what he says, it sounds like it's going to be awesome.
Awesome.
They're going to have 16 taps. They're going to have 5 or 6 of their own, and then 10 or 11 guest taps.
Cool.
So
and
it's going to be...
what constitutes a guest? Like, is it just going to be a rotation of craft beers? Period?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's essentially going to be a craft beer bar that also brews beer. He has a 1-barrel system that they're going to go on, so
Kinda
it's not huge, but should be nice rotating.
Similar to like a Brady's brew pub thing going
I
on.
haven't been up to Brady, so I can't make a...
It's actually a lot of fun.
Okay.
I think we ran into $4 worldwide stouts there
Oh, wow.
per bottle.
Nice.
Yes.
Very cool.
We bought them out.
Very cool. Yeah, so that's what I interviewed him, and then last Friday they had a meet and greet, and so Rick, our business manager, and I went up there, and we chatted with them for a while, and we're like, all right, we're gonna find another. We're gonna go grab a bite to eat, because as of right now, apparently in Ellsworth there is nothing to eat. So
Really?
this place, yeah, no, it was 7:30. We're like, let's just grab a bar burger or something. It took us 30 minutes to actually find someplace that was serving food.
Really?
Yeah.
Now
it
is
was
this
insane.
like other than the cheese factory?
This cheese factory doesn't serve any food.
Well, cheese.
That's not food. That's just cheese.
We're in Wisconsin.
Yeah, but you can't make a meal out of cheese, Miles.
You can try.
No. Anyway, so we stop at this bar called Just Cause.
Okay.
And the locals say, "Oh yeah, great burger, great burger." Took us by the time we went, or from the time we went in to the time we went out, it took us an hour or 2 hours to get out of there. And the burgers
were you taking your time?
No.
Oh.
The burgers were terrible. The burgers were under-seasoned or over-seasoned. The fries had no seasoning, no salt or anything on them.
Really?
It was just bad. And it was no craft beer. We got bottles of Spotted Cow because that's all they had craft beer wise. Which, I mean, it's not a bad beer.
No,
it's just,
no,
you want something a little different.
Let's just say by the time you get into craft beer after having discovered Spotted Cow, there's not much reason to go back outside of nostalgia.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Or, you just want something light and easy to drink.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's good, but there's so much more.
There's just so much more that you can do.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, other than that, we also had, it's not really beer related, but it's alcohol related. We had Scott Andrzejczyk, or I don't know. He has a bunch of consonants in his name that I can't really say.
It's Andershak.
Andrzejczyk? I don't know. From 65 Vines on. Learned a little bit about wine, asked some yeasty questions. That's actually a really good interview. It came out last Saturday on Department of Defense, so if you haven't listened to it, I highly recommend it.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Right? And the interview with Russ will be out next Saturday, so keep an eye out for that. Make sure you listen to the Department of Defense. And he was a great interview. Just super knowledgeable, a lot of fun to talk to. It was a blast. That's right. All right, that's the end of my shameless self-promotion.
Right?
So you go ahead and talk.
No, I really don't have much to say.
No?
I really haven't done too much. except for what we're going to be doing today.
Well, what are we gonna do today?
Well, we're going to be doing a commercial collaboration, except for this being a.
Is it a calibration?
What did I say?
Collaboration. We're not really collaborating with anybody.
Well,
on this.
we're collaborating with each other.
Yes.
On what commercial collaboration.
Calibration.
Commercial calibration.
I know those words, man. They're hard.
Words are hard. Commercial collaboration.
Calibration. Man, okay. We're doing a commercial calibration today.
Commercial calibration.
And Miles is just going to tell you what that is without saying those words.
Okay. Basically, we just bring in a commercial beer and we discuss it. And in the past, it hasn't really applied to the home brewing, concept of the show. So
Okay.
I thought I would bring it around back to us. And so what we did, or what I did, I should say, is I chose
what I was supposed to do.
what Casey was supposed to do. I drank Two Hearted Ale. And
I did do that part of it.
Oh, good work out of you. And then given, as little input as I could, other than like the ABV and the hops involved, I tried to do my own clone recipe.
Okay.
And yeah, so I suppose we can start with that.
Well, let's before we start with the clone recipe, why don't we talk about the beer itself first, so we know what we're cloning?
Oh, fair enough.
I mean that makes sense. I mean, I not to
No.
steal your thunder
go
or
ahead,
anything.
go ahead. I can't even say what we're doing.
Okay, so yeah, Bell's Two Hearted. I guess I can read the bottle real quick.
Fair. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. An India Pale Ale style, well suited for adventurous trips to the Upper Peninsula. American malts and enormous hop addition give this beer a crisp finish and an incredibly floral hop aroma. And it's made by Bell's out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, I believe.
Is it Kalamazoo or Comstock?
Okay, it says Comstock, which is near Kalamazoo.
Yes.
They're very near each other.
They are.
The only reason I know that is I have a buddy who goes to school in Kalamazoo, and Bell's is one of his locals. That lucky bastard.
Yeah, that makes me jealous.
Yeah, this is one of their best-selling beers, if I remember reading that correctly.
Yes, I believe it is, and for good reason. It is a fantastic beer.
It's a solid beer.
I enjoy it very, very much.
There's things I like about this beer. There's things I don't really care for.
I bet you like that it's dry.
It's
okay. It's drier.
It's dry, but it's not. It could be better.
Okay, so Casey, what do you get out of this beer?
Well, just appearance-wise, golden, just a great golden color. The bottle I had earlier had a slight haze to it. I'm not seeing that in this one. But it could just be the glass I was using or whatever. But yeah, that stuck around for a flavor in the aroma, it's resiny with that citrus pine, just a lot of hops right there. Flavor wise, that hop citrus comes through bitter. It's a little on the sweeter side, but maybe it's perceived sweetness, not actually sweet.
Yeah.
And not quite as dry as I'd like, but we all know that I have a problem. And
more than one, but
yes,
this is just an
yes.
example.
No, but it's very hop forward.
Yes.
Extremely hop forward.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. You took away all my notes.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm not. So Casey, let me pose it to you. If you were going to try and dummy up something similar to this, how would you do it?
I would get a bunch of sea hops. Like I'm thinking Cascade, Centennial, just a lot of that West Coast stuff. A fairly simple malt bill is what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of American 2-row and maybe just a touch of crystal to just kind of counteract that and add a little bit of complexity, but nothing dark. You want this to still be a lighter colored beer. And then then American Ale yeast, just super clean fermenting, not a whole lot of yeast character left over in the beer. You just really want those hops to shine. So choose your malts and yeast around making the hop shine. All
right. Well, cool. If I was going to ask you, how many IBUs you think this is? I'm testing him here. I'm giving him a hard time because he didn't do his homework.
I didn't do my homework. That's okay. It makes the show more interesting.
No,
is what I
I
keep
think I
telling
might even
myself.
keep doing it like this.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
All right, so I'm gonna guess 70, 75.
Pretty darn close. A little high, but
A little high. Okay.
yeah, I think that's just because there isn't too much complexity on the malt.
Okay. What's the actual IBUs?
The actual IBUs is mid 50s.
Okay, so I'm quite high.
Yeah.
I'm quite high. Okay.
All right. So I actually some time and I thought about it, and I agreed with you wholly and completely. Simple malt bill is what it was going to be. So for 5 gallons, this is what I wrote up: 11 pounds of pale ale, 1 pound of Munich, and 1 pound of Crystal 40.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, pretty straightforward. Just a little bit of some of those bready notes to come out from the Munich.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The Munich was what I was missing.
Yeah, just a little bit, and that's what I had. And then you might not have known this, but Two Hearted is a Centennial only.
Oh,
beer.
is it?
Yes,
Okay.
it is a single hop beer.
Did not know it was single hop.
Yes, and just it's pretty much a hop bomb, although not overly bitter like some can be.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of decided that it displays a lot of the qualities that Centennial hops have.
Yeah.
And so I said half an ounce each at 60, 45, 30, 15, 0. If I was going to attempt it for first time, that's just kind of how I would.
Yeah, that's a good spot. I would maybe just taste wise, maybe back off some of those earlier ones and put it at late just to get more of that aroma like that. Take that 15 and just do it all at 0. Do a full ounce at 0 instead of any at 15, just so you get a lot more of that aroma.
Yep.
But I don't know if that would clone this beer or just make it more to my taste.
Well, we'll find out in a little bit.
Yeah.
And then for mash temperature, I chose right around 150.
Okay.
Yeast, I really hadn't decided exactly what strain, but I was thinking a cleaner American yeast.
Yeah, and there is little to no yeast character in this beer whatsoever, and any yeast character that you had would be so covered up by the hops anyway.
Pretty much. And the IBUs I ended up coming out with that bill was 63.
Okay.
So I was just a tad high, but nothing dramatic. ABV 6.8 versus the 7 on the bottle.
Yeah.
So
what efficiency were you shooting for with that?
75.
75? Okay.
75, yep. Then I pulled a couple of clone recipes off the internet, and these ones seemed to, for the most part, agree.
Okay.
So I figured it would give us a little point of comparison. Stuff off the internet, of course, is always true.
Yep. Oh, of course. That's why everything we say is gospel.
Yes. And the malt bill was identical for all of these. Not necessarily in the weights, but in the grains chosen.
Okay.
And it was all pale ale, Vienna, Carapils, and Crystal 20.
Okay.
Yep. So some of the Carapils for a little bit of that extra body. Then Vienna instead of my Munich, pretty much.
Yeah, and those are fairly interchange. Like
they are,
especially in small quantities.
Yep.
You're going to get very similar characters with those two. In fact, I'd use Vienna over Munich just because it's what I have.
Yeah. And so it was usually a toss up between 10 and 12 pounds of the pale ale, and then the other 3 were pretty much identical.
Okay.
Across the board. So that's what the general population feels the grain bill is.
And it's very similar to the IPA that I make.
Mm-hmm.
Where I use just Crystal and ditch though I really should add some Vienna, even though but it totally ruins my 2 ingredient.
God forbid.
I know, right? All these different things being added. Ugh.
Yep. And then the hops, each one of them had 5 or 6 additions.
Okay.
All of them including something that I completely neglected, dry hopping.
Oh.
Yes. And one of them actually called for a Cascade edition, and I knew that was just
That has to be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a heavily dry hop beer though. It doesn't.
No, it said, well, all of them pretty much agreed 1 ounce or half an ounce dry hop for a week.
Yeah.
So nothing dramatic, but there.
Okay.
Being the short version. And for one, I have additions of an ounce each at 60, 15, 5, and 1. So that kind of reflects what you said, or how you would change my recipe a little bit. Another one for an ounce at 60, half at 45, half at 30, 1 at 15, and then some dry hop. Then another one that was almost mine exactly, 60, 45, 30, 15, 0.
Well, we know where Miles got his recipe then.
No, I actually wrote mine before I looked all this up.
No, I know.
Mash temps were somewhere between 150 and 153.
Well, and that's a good solid temp. I mean, if you can be somewhere in there, you're gonna end up with about the body
this level of dryness. Yeah. One guy pulled yeast from the bottle. Another one shows Y Yeast 1450.
Which one's 1450?
I actually
have
have
it
it right
written
here.
down.
Let's see. A terrific all-around yeast can be used for almost any style of beer. Produces big mouthfeel, accentuates malt, caramel, and fruit character in a beer without being sweet or under-attenuative. Yes.
Okay.
Then the last one had Y Yeast 1272.
Nobody used 1056, huh?
Nobody used 1056. And then 1272, what do we have? Fruitier and more flocculent than 1056. Slightly nutty, soft.
I
clean,
can see that.
finish.
There's some fruitiness and just a hint of that nut.
Yeah, so it wasn't a bad choice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I believe I actually found what might be the real recipe.
Oh man.
Yes. So here's what it is. Breeze 2-row, 10 pounds. And okay, so this is for 5 gallons.
It's been scaled down, yeah.
And it's also written at 65% efficiency.
Okay.
So 10 pounds of Breeze 2-row, 2.83 pounds of Breeze Pale, and then half a pound of Crystal 40.
So no Vienna or Munich, huh?
No Vienna or Munich. None.
I wonder if the Pale is adding those biscuity then.
I think so. God, I think that was like 3.6 Lavibond or something.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, at the very least, we had the concept right that it was a very simple malt bill.
Yeah.
And it was even simpler than I wanted it to be.
You can taste the simplicity.
Yeah. Well, it's just crisp, clean, just sits right underneath and lets the hop shine.
It's a well-crafted beer. Unfortunately, I've had this beer old. It does not age well.
Yeah.
That hop character drops off and you just get a grassy note. That's just not good. It's just not good. So if you and the first few times I had this beer, it was on an old keg. And so it all every time I taste it now, I think about that first tasting and it turns me off this beer for some reason.
All right. How many hop additions do you think this beer has, including any and all dry hoppings?
Oh, including dry hoppings? 4.
3.
Ah, I was close. I was going to go. All right, so let me see if I can guess them. 60?
Nope.
There's no 60 minute?
There's no
addition?
60.
45 then?
Yes.
Okay, it's a 45 minute, a flame out, and a dry.
No. It's 1.2 ounces at 45, 1.2 at 30, and 3.5 dry hop.
I don't like it.
Just because it flies in the face of everything that you're okay with?
Yeah, where's my 60-minute addition, damn it?
Right? All right, and then he says he uses either White Labs 001 or 051, which is California and California 5.
Yeah.
Which are just clean, straightforward.
Yeah, they're essentially
They're essentially the White Labs version of 1056. And then he ends up with 55 IBUs and 7% ABV.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Sounds
good.
So,
ooh, is it quiz time? You love a good quiz.
A little bit. It's less of me trying to quiz you and more of just kind of our outline to kind of compare and contrast. So
what are we comparing and contrasting?
Some of the recipes that people are coming up with compared to the actual.
Okay.
So I wanted to talk about. Well, here I'll just get us started. What is the effect of adding Vienna malt?
So Vienna Malt, if I remember correctly, it's not going to add a whole lot of Lovabond. Like it's just going to be flavor wise is what you're going to get.
Pretty much.
You're going to get those biscuity toasted characters from Vienna and Munich. Yeah, that's really just a flavor addition.
Imparts golden hues. Obviously, not much. Soft toffee, caramel, malty flavors.
Okay, so I had the flavors completely wrong.
Yep.
That's okay. Shit happens.
But you can see where, kind of where they're coming from, wanting to put this in a beer.
I don't know about the toffee caramel stuff.
It's very light, and that's why you never see more than like half a pound in it.
Yeah.
So, and I think they were using it just to give it that little extra bit of color, and just that tiniest bit of complexity that is there.
Yeah, but I don't know. You're adding the crystal where you're going to get some of those sweet notes from the crystal anyway, the crystal 40 or whatever, and that's where your darkness is, any darkness is going to come from, and those sweet notes are going to come from that anyway. So why back it up? I feel like you'll end up with a beer that's too sweet.
It's possible, but then again, maybe that's why they're using it in such small amounts, which might beg the question, why use it at all?
Exactly.
Yep. Anyways, what is the effect of adding crystal malt or the caramel crystal malts?
Didn't we just say that? Well, I'll say it again. So that's going to darken your wort or darken your beer, and it's going to impart some sweeter flavors.
Well, I guess one of the big things I wanted to highlight here is we have a huge Lovabond range that caramel crystals cover, and what is the effect that changes with these numbers? And so I have an example at 20, 120, and then I brought us back to the 40 that's in the real recipe.
So 20, you're not gonna. It's basically the more you caramelize the sugars in those in the malts, the darker they get, and the I guess the more flavor. It's not really more flavor; it's a different flavor.
The way I would usually describe it at work was, you get some of the darker fruit flavors versus some of the lighter fruit flavors. For example, 20-degree Lovabond will give you like mellow candy-like sweetness and toffee, whereas caramel 120 would give you caramel, burnt sugar, raisin, and prune. Yeah. So I mean, when you literally just some of the darker fruit kind of flavors. Not
gonna lie, I love throwing some 40 or 60 and some 120 in an ESB. Oh man, really brings those flavors out.
Right. And then the 40L is a popular and versatile medium caramel malt that will contribute rich golden hues and smooth flavor with sweet toffee and caramel.
It's my go-to for pale ales, IPAs. 40 is my go-to. It's a solid malt.
That's why I went with it.
And I mean, if you do 2-row and 40, that wort can do a lot of different things.
Yeah. Yep. So, carapils.
Oh man, So wait, we're doing a malt quiz now?
No, it's not a malt quiz.
I'm not prepared for a malt quiz.
Right? No, it's just that these are the ingredients that, pretty much all of the clone recipes agreed that they thought was in this beer. And so we're just kind of discussing you're Googling it now.
Shut up. I don't remember a whole... Oh, no! Where did the paper towels go?
I don't know.
Oh, they're behind me. Hang on.
All
right, you talk about carapils. I'm going to clean up your mess.
All right, thank you. So carapils is a high-performance dextrin malt. It has clear, glassy endosperm, contributes unfermentable sugars that add foam stability and palate fullness to beer. So, Casey, while you're busy there, would you agree that it would make sense if this beer had carapils?
Yes.
There we go.
But it doesn't.
It doesn't. No.
They must have gotten the foam stability from something else. I'm trying to clean up a mess. Sorry.
No, I just got to give you a hard time. Then I'll kind of cover this one real quick. What effects can a mash temperature of about 150 degree produce? And we were talking about just the fullness and the dryness of the beer. And I don't know, if you have a two-hearted in front of you, which would be awesome. You'd be able to taste what exactly we're talking about. It's just a little bit drier. It's got a crispness. You take a sip, you kind of want more when you're done.
Yeah, it's dry unless you pour it on the table, and it's pretty fucking wet.
Yeah, that too. All right, and then as far as some of the yeasty beasties that are in here, I think we actually kind of covered most of those, didn't we?
I think we did, but I always like talking about clean fermenting yeast.
Right.
Because I really enjoy those as well, unless I'm making an English beer and then I want some English yeast character. But Belgians don't like.
That's why you use USO5.
What is wrong with that yeast? Oh my God. What is just wrong with that yeast? It's so broken. There's nothing right about that. Please, somebody listening, write in and tell me why that yeast is so broken.
No, so that pretty much brings us to the end of the calibration concept that I was hoping to introduce today.
Yeah, personally, I enjoyed it.
Good, I did too.
How did you guys? Please let us know how you felt about this, or if there's commercial beers that you'd like us to calibrate on. And again, we're going to start brewing again soon, and so we'll have more homebrew focused up. But we want to keep bringing you beer stuff.
Yeah,
we want to keep bringing you beer information, and we're working on getting more homebrew stuff in the pipeline. So
yes,
I apologize for us being so terrible at that.
Rough start, but good times to come.
Yes, yeah. I'm actually doing a spiced cider come the first or the last week of November, so that should be ready sometime in December.
And I might be brewing this Sunday.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I got a buddy who's getting married. He's got to brew his wedding beer.
That reminds me, we got to talk about
things
after we're done here.
Yes.
All right. Well, do we have anything?
No, that pretty much wrapped it up for what I had for you.
Showmaster.
Do you have any things to add to this?
I don't really. I think we covered it. I mean, we've really exhausted this beer as a beer.
I hope. I mean, that was kind of the plan.
Yeah, and I think we did a good job. Not to pat ourselves on the back too much, but all right, hang on. I'm gonna get some. You want to turn that down just a little bit for me? There you go. All right. Well, if you enjoyed this show and like to support us, go ahead and head on over to patreon.com/blindnewsstudios. Patreon is a recurring tip jar or donation type deal. It's like Kickstarter for ongoing projects. You can donate even as little as $1 a month. You get something in return, and you help us out, bring you great video every week or almost every week. Yeah, or if you're going to do any Amazon shopping, the holidays are coming up, and we all know that you're going to do your Christmas shopping on Amazon because everybody does. Nobody has time for stores. But before you head over to Amazon, head on over to blindnewsstudios.com, click on the Amazon link at the bottom of the page. The bottom of the page.
Yeah,
man, I feel like Miles. And just do your regular Amazon shopping, and we get a bit of a cut from that. All right. Well, if you have any feedback, questions, comments, or if you want to send in a beer, go ahead and send us an email at feedback@blindnewsstudios.com, or you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/blindnewsstudios, or you can follow us on Twitter at blind_ninja. Next week, I am out, so it'll just be Miles running everything. So we'll see how badly that turns out.
It's going to be a blast.
Yes. Miles may be bringing in a friend or cohort.
Well, I'm going to try.
All right.
I'm going to try.
But no matter what, we will have some content for you guys next week. I'm also going to be doing some tweeting and whatnot from Orlando. So I will see you guys next week.